You're watching Rurouni K95's anime review on Mermaid Forest anime series. Hi Ruronis, this is your pal Rurouni K95 here, and today's anime review, we're going to be reviewing Mermaid's Forest for today's anime review, which is another Rumiko Takahashi anime. It's based on the manga in the same Mermaid Saga by the manga creator Rumiko Takahashi, which is published in Shonen Sunday, a Zokan and Weekly Shonen Sunday, which lasted over 3 volumes, which we'll get to that in one moment. So, let's start with the anime review on there. Okay. In a mountain village, Mana just turned 15. She is cared for and pampered by Baba, an old woman who keeps her shackled in bed. The village is inhabited by identical and old and young women who are all mermaids in human form. Meanwhile, Yuta, a young man, arrives looking for a mermaid. He is actually a 500-year-old immortal human who became so after eating mermaid flesh. One of the women is chosen by the others to become a mermaid by entering the ocean, and she is then sacrificed. Baba feeds her flesh to Mana to make her an immortal human, whose flesh would rejuvenate the old women. Yuta learns of their pain and escapes with Mana after explaining her fate. The women try to stop Yuta and Mana from escaping, but they are caught in the flooding sea water and revert to their mermaid forms. Baba, who is an immortal human, not a mermaid, decides to stay with the mermaids who are unable to take human form again. As Yuta leaves with Mana, he tells her that life as an immortal isn't all bad, although he still hopes to become immortal again. In the flashback, Yuta recalls meeting Rin, the daughter of the pirate chief of Toba Island. Rin's father was gravely ill, so Rin raiding parties on passing ships, demanding 10th of their cargo as a toll. Sparing the crews, Rin buried Yuta after his body washed ashore following a violent storm. However, Yuta revived and explained that he drowned while mermaid hunting on behalf of Saga, the wife of the Sakagami Island chief, who are rivals to Toba Islanders. Saga convinced the chief to use his men to hunt mermaids, and Yuta was hired with some other men in a nearby port for the hunt. For a time, Yuta lived and worked with the Toba Islanders. One day, Isago saw Yuta and Rin in port. Surprised to see Yuta alive, Isago realized that he was immortal and believed that he had access to mermaid flesh. Isago followed them back to Toba and stabbed Rin's father in attempts to force Yuta into revealing the location of mermaid flesh and stop him from dying. An angry retaliation, Rin slayed Isago. Yuta's recollections of his past continue. Yuta and Rin take a fishing boat and capture a mermaid to save Rin's father. However, Sakagami Islanders follow them, and after killing both the mermaid and Yuta, they took Rin to Sakagami. When Rin saw Isago, they were alive. She realized that Isago was immortal. Isago that revealed that she has been pregnant for 3 years by her previous husband, whom the Sakagami Islanders killed. She needed mermaid flesh so she could finally give birth. Meanwhile, Yuta revived and returned to save Rin. The chief and his men alternately fought Yuta and Rin while they ate the mermaid flesh. However, many were poisoned by the mermaid flesh, and the survivors, including the chief, become deformed. One Isago told the chief that she was too a mermaid and leaped off the cliff into the ocean. Yuta and Rin thought Isago did so in desperation, but Isago changed into her mermaid form and swam away. Trailed by smaller forms on Toba, Rin's father recovers from his wound without eating mermaid flesh. Back in the present, Mana asks Yuta how far does the ocean go. Oh, and Mana is accidentally killed by a truck when she runs into onto the road. Old Dr. Sheena tells the police and Yuta that she survived and wandered away. However, he takes her corpse to the house of an old woman named Sawa who lives with a young woman called Towa. Sheena prepares to remove Mana's forearm to replace them with the deformed arm of Towa. But as he begins, Mana revives Yuta, realizes that Sheena lied, and tracks him to Sawa's house in Mermaid's Forest, where a local legend says a mermaid is buried. Towa commands a deformed dog to attack and kill Yuta. When Yuta revives, he finds himself chained in a cell in the basement. Towa kills Mana, planning to have Sheena transplant her head onto Mana's body. Meanwhile, Sawa frees Yuta and reveals that she and Towa are identical twins. But when they were young, Sawa gave Towa medicine made of mermaid blood to save her from the terminal illness. The medicine made her ageless, but has turned her hand into the deformed claw and her hair white rather than admit his daughter. Partially deformed, their father has told everyone that Towa has died and confined her into the cell basement through his death. To save Mana's life, if Sawa takes Towa to the mermaid's tomb, Yuta follows warns Towa that eating mermaid flesh may completely transforms her into a deformed one. Towa says immortality and transformation makes no difference and tries to force Sawa to eat a piece of mermaid flesh. She explains that when they were young, Sawa desired immortality, but that was too afraid to try it herself, and experimented on Towa. Her identical twin Towa developed a deformed hand and remained eternally useful instead, while Towa was forced to live in a confinement. Sawa lived a full life marrying and having a child. Towa tries to make Sawa eat the mermaid flesh and to become immortal as an old woman or a monster. However, Sawa dies of a heart attack, denying Towa her revenge. Towa instructs the others to burn the tomb and the house and everything them, including himself, as they watch the fire burn. Sheena reveals that he had tried to convince Towa to elope him when he was young, but Towa refuses, remaining to extract revenge on her sister. Later, Mana assures Yuta that if they were separated, she would eternally search for him. Yuta and Mana fall off a cliff while chasing a butterfly and both die. A heavily bandaged man called Big Eyes by nearby villagers carries Mana to his cave. An old hunter from the village finds Yuta, but Yuta revives during his burial rites. Big Eyes tell Mana that 40 years earlier, he lived in the fishing village and ate mermaid flesh, and he blacked out upon regaining his senses and discovered everyone in his village that he has been killed. He ran into the mountains and lived alone ever since. Yuta and the hunter find Big Eyes, who flies deep into the cave with Mana. There, Mana stumbles upon the skeletons of the villagers that Big Eyes has eaten, and Big Eyes explains that he still blacks out. The hunter shoots Big Eyes, who goes berserk and runs away. Yuta catches and kills Big Eyes. Later ponders there all the sorts of deformed ones, all sorts of mermaids, and all sorts of Yutas. While fishing with Mana, Yuta has a flashback to the first year of the Tokugawa shogunate when he was 120 years old. He recalls an apparently 12-year-old immortal girl named Natsume, who works with an old man who she calls Pa, who purports to sell mermaid flesh but is only fish. An itinerant monk who attempts to kill Natsume and cuts off her left arm. Yuta rescues Natsume and carries her back to Pa, who reattaches her severed arm. Later, the monk tells Yuta that after Natsume died, he used a piece of mermaid liver to resurrect for Pa. The monk has decided to end Natsume's existence because of her need to eat fresh liver to survive. But Pa escapes with her. Yuta doubts destroying Natsume is the right thing to do and offers to take her with him, but the monk attacks Natsume and removes the mermaid liver. When Pa sees that the monk has done, he picks her up and jumps off the cliff. Yuta finds Natsume still alive at the base of the cliff, but she dies in his arms and turns back into bones. Yuta and Mana met. Nano, a 10-year-old boy carrying a scenery box who lives with his mother and grandmother. Nano's grandmother arranges for him to be kidnapped, and he escapes and uses family medicine to heal his wounds. The escape. Yuta and Mana take Nano home, where Nano's grandmother shows Yuta and Mana a photograph of Nano's father, who does not appear be the woman Nano calls mother alone. However, Nano's mother opens the scenery box, the skin of the scarred woman's face. The next day, Mana and Nano sees Nano's mother enter the cellar, but the woman from the photo emerges with the bandage on one side of her face in the cellar. Mana discovers surgical instruments and the skin from the face of Nano's mother. Meanwhile, Yuta follows Nano's kidnapper, who meets the woman with the bandage covering the scar. Yuta calls him Nano and him called mother, but she pushes him over a cliff. The older Nano explains to Yuta that 25 years later, his mother ate mermaid flesh, and 8 years ago, his mother, who hadn't aged in 25 years, kidnapped his son, who is called the Nano. Yeah, there's probably like 2 episodes of Mermaid Forest. Has like The Last Face, which are a 2-part episode. Same with Promised Tomorrow, which is a 2-part episode, which is only aired. But for Mermaid Scar, which is probably a 2-part episode, which counts as episodes 12 to 13, which is available only on the DVD, especially for Mermaid Forest anime series. Because we all know that Mermaid Forest is based on the manga Mermaid Saga, because the original manga was serialized in Shonen Sunday and Zokan and Weekly Shonen Sunday from 1984 to 1995. That total are 9 stories told in 16 chapters, and the first tanko on volume was Mermaid Forest, because the manga was done by creator Rumiko Takahashi, who was known for her work such as Ranma Half, Inuyasha, Maison Ikkoku, Urusei Yatsura, stuff like that. Many of her works in general, I meant to say. Yeah, because the first volume of... Oh yeah, in North America, Mermaid Forest began serialization by Viz Media and America's first issue. Rachel Matt Thorne provided the translation. The manga was first released in 3 volumes: Mermaid Forest, Mermaid Scar, and Mermaid's Gaze, from November 11th, 1994 till March 8th, 1997. Yeah, because Mermaid Forest anime has been adapted into the first 2 OVAs, one that was released in 1991 on August 1st, 1991 in Japan as Mermaid Forest, and the second OVA, Mermaid Scar, which was released in Japan on VHS and Laserdisc by Madhouse on September the 24th, 1993, and Viz Media published a dubbed release on VHS on November 21st, 1995. And the anime series Mermaid Forest was made by the company Tokyo Movie Shinsha, or TMS Entertainment, which is known for their work on Lupin the Third series. Produced 13 episodes TV series based on Rumiko Takahashi's short stories as part of Rumik Theater series, and it was broadcast on TV Tokyo from October 4th to December 20th, 2003, because they were released as a 4-volume DVD set that was released by Geneon Entertainment, or Pioneer Entertainment, especially for the anime series Mermaid Forest, which is how it is. So that's going to be it for my anime review on Mermaid Forest. Thank you for watching. Before we go, here's my thoughts about Mermaid Forest. I consider this to be an interesting horror anime, because this has to the extent of Inuyasha, that's why. And I have Volume 1 on DVD. Subscribe for content. My anime plan, link in the description down below. Share this video on your Twitter, Facebook, and account, and all social media. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up by clicking on the like button on this video. Feel free to leave in the comments in the comment section below in this video if you like as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RuRoniK95, especially if you're new to my channel. Click on my notifications bell button, and keep it otaku for my anime review on Mermaid Forest. Oh, and I got more for upcoming anime reviews for the next anime review. Stay tuned for my next anime review, which is going to be for my anime review on Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Stay tuned for my next anime review on Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, because you won't want to miss it.